My name is Joseph Hurst. I live in Ankeny, Iowa, and I'm a part of the PMBA program. I currently work as the Director of Sales at Stony Creek Hotels in Johnston, Iowa, and I chose the Iowa State MBA program because it just made perfect sense. About 2 years ago, I started this wonderful program, and I couldn't imagine not having done it. What has helped the most balance work, life, school, has been the people I'm in class with. It's great to go through questions, problems, study for tests, and it just makes the whole class so much easier. As a working professional thinking about doing an MBA program, I get night classes aren't everybody's dream. I get after a long day of work, you may not want to go do more, but it's worth it. You're going to learn a lot, not just from the professors in the program, but from the other students. They come from all walks of life. They are from different age groups. They're from different companies. They're from all kinds of different backgrounds. They've got all kinds of different stories. And after 2 years, I've made some of the best friends I've ever made, learned the most I've ever learned, and I can't imagine what we're going to do after we're done.
Success in farming is all about precision and efficiency, ensuring every seed, every drop of water, every nutrient and treatment counts. Terraplex Ag is helping farmers all over Iowa and the Midwest do just that. With precision ag drone technology and support from Terraplex, you'll boost your productivity and make timely and informed decisions, all while reducing your costs and increasing your profit. It's time to revolutionize your farming. Harvest the benefits with Terraplex Ag. Visit TerraplexAg.com.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum, from the Wild Rose Casino Studio. It's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne, on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
What up, what up, what up? It is Williams and Blum Wednesday on a Tuesday. Shorter show for you today. We will have another program on Thursday where we will do an in-depth preview of the Big 12 championship game. But there is a battle of top 10 basketball teams playing on Wednesday night at Hilton Coliseum. So we are going to mainly preview that today. Look ahead to Iowa State and Marquette. We have, of course, brought to you by our friends at Mechdyne, the Mechdyne Corporation. Got a video today on my text message of Chris Clover on the field. After Iowa State beat Kansas State over the weekend, I am not surprised. That's the type of people you're dealing with at Mechdyne. We are in the Wild Rose Casino Studios. Go out and buy yourself a bottle of Cody Road bourbon. My name is Chris Williams, joined as always by Brent Blum. Blum, I just got done doing an hour and a half sit down with Eric Heft on Iowa Everywhere. You're going to love it. Well, we got into like the old school media rights and like,
of course.
I could have done 2 hours on that alone. It was great. You guys will love it. If you CW Pod over on Iowa Everywhere, Aiden will have that up later today.
Is Eric Heft the coolest individual?
Yes.
In the state?
Coolest individual I've ever met.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree.
Go out and get yourself a 12-pack of Ames Lager as well.
Right.
Get ready
take it to Dallas.
Take it to Dallas, baby. Real quick, 4 o'clock, Texas Live, Cyclone Fanatic, We Will, the Dallas-Fort Worth Cyclone Club, all getting together. I mean, this isn't going to be like a formal party like we've had. This is a get-together, and we're just taking an initiative. I did talk to your wife. I said we need to get some signage down there. I'd love everybody in attendance to send $20 to We Will. Something. It's portal season. Guys are hitting the portal. Guys are we're starting to get announcements.
Yeah, we signing day tomorrow.
Isn't it crazy how signing days has completely lost its luster?
Why is everything happening all at once? This is not good for my sleep patterns. No, so we're going to announce this probably by the time people listen to this this afternoon. We're in a competition, C-Dub, with the Sun Devil Collective.
Oh. This is fun.
Yeah.
I like this. This is fun.
So we're going to announce this afternoon. Whoever raises the most between now and kickoff, the winning team side will be entered to win playoff tickets.
Playoff
tickets. 4 playoff tickets for the school that raises the most to somebody who contributes via this giveaway.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How'd you get lined up with these guys?
Just a mutual friend that is friends with the collective folks. So
That's
we are cool. Yeah. So anyway, and any money we raise goes to us. Any money they raise goes to them. But it's a competition. Whoever raises the most, the winning side has 4 tickets to give away to somebody who enters in the contest.
Love it.
So
Absolutely love it.
check out our socials, and you'll find out more information.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm getting swarmed by people on Twitter on get-togethers in Dallas. That's the only one I'm going to be a part of in Cyclone Fanatic because we have a game to cover.
There's a lot going on.
In an early morning on Saturday. So, again, 4 o'clock, Texas Live. If you can't be there at 4, I'm sure people are going to be there later. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that place will be packed with
For those
Iowa
of you
State fans.
who haven't been to that area before, it's basically Power and Light.
Yeah, we're basically meeting in the center of the
Redux.
Power and Light
Yeah, I
district.
mean,
It's not like a little bar or anything like that.
you will not have trouble finding Iowa State friends.
Nope. So that is our plan. And we wanted to make it as inclusive as possible, and that just is the biggest area. And the Dallas-Fort Worth people made some calls and connections, and they know that area, so we're just rolling. We also, to reiterate from Sunday's show, if Iowa State somehow is in the Fiesta Bowl, we will definitely have a charter with We Will and Cyclone Fanatic. If they are in the Alamo Bowl, we will be doing a charter. If it is Orlando, we will not. Really, basically anything other than the Alamo and the Fiesta, we will not do one.
Feeling really good I feel really good Iowa State's going to win this game. However, if Iowa State were to lose, feeling really good about the Alamo.
Okay. Yeah, and we would not do one. Let's say like Iowa State is playing at Notre Dame. We would not do one.
Yes.
Because that's almost impossible to pull off with small airports and all that. We're not doing that.
I do ask for folks that, you support our charter, even if it's a little bit extra cost. But again, everything we raise now through all this stuff is directly helping us for next year and the years beyond for the NIL fund for Iowa State.
And you get to hang out with me and Blum.
That's right. Who says no to that?
I already told my staff yesterday. I said I'm doing the charter. I'm going to hang out with the people who go on the charter. I'm going to drink Ames Lager with the folks on the charter and Bloom. You guys get to cover the game. That's the plan.
Let's go.
And we will do an event down there too, like a live
it'll be a good
podcast
time.
or something. We're putting it all together. I believe there's a call happening right now that we're not on because we're doing this show.
We're here to help you all out. We're going to have a great time regardless, but let's effing win on Saturday anyway.
I think Iowa State's going to win. We'll save all that for Thursday.
Yeah.
Real quick, I did want to play this clip. Kenny Dillingham just doing his best Matt Campbell impression on Monday. He's talking about being the best version of himself, all this stuff. Man, listen to this clip, or you can watch it if you're watching on YouTube.
When I was at Auburn, when I was the OC at Auburn, I had the ability to go study at one program in the country. I had 2 days that at that time Coach Malzahn would let you go and study with the team. And I alluded to this versus Cincinnati because the defense coordinator at Cincinnati was the linebacker coach at Iowa State. And I chose to go visit Iowa State. That was the program that I wanted to study from because I thought that they were overachieving at that time early in his career at a high level before he had built it up. Now he's built it up. Now they're achieving at a high level consistently. And I wanted to go just study. And what I took away was like the realness of the culture. I was like, man, like he's over here like joking around with a dude, and then he gets to the front of the room and demands respect. And I'm like, man, this culture that he created, I feel like is sustainable. I feel like this is a winning formula. So all the X's and the O's I learned, and I studied that stuff, but I was really trying to get a vibe and a feel for how did he create that culture. And he was one of the youngest head coaches at the time. He was one of the youngest head coaches in the country at Toledo before he got to Iowa State. And I think his genuineness is infectious. And I think that's why he's had that success. Is I think he's just a real person. I think he's a good person that's real. And I think the guys see his passion and saw his vision because he lives it.
That's Arizona State head coach Kenny Dillingham doing his best to get Iowa State fans to love him heading into that game on Saturday. We've talked about him a lot on Two Guys with my show I do with Chris Hassel all year long. One of the great stories in college football. I don't know if he's a good dude or not behind the camera, but, man, that guy puts on a hell of a press conference. I love watching him talk.
He makes me feel old, number one. He's 34.
That's wild, isn't it?
Like, Matt was 38 when he got the Iowa State job. So, I mean, kudos to Dillingham. he's an Arizona State guy. Like, I don't see him going anywhere, but he clearly
I like him a lot.
Remarkable job that he's done there, and really good quote. And the interesting part with Kenny is he was the quarterback's coach for Memphis when Iowa State played Memphis in the Liberty Bowl, the first go-round.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In
Okay.
17. Yeah, so he's a Norvell guy.
I knew
a lot
that.
of people don't
yeah.
know. So there's this weird, like, Malzahn, Dillingham, Norvell deal, and then obviously Dillingham came from Oregon, where he was with obviously great program there as well. So this guy's like an dude. He will be able to, on that Campbell trajectory of having whatever job he likely wants, but I don't think he's going to go anywhere because he's an Arizona State guy. So, yeah, hard to dislike this guy. I mean, saying all the right things. I think he's super bright. He has a great connection with their quarterback, and it's been a dynamic offense. But the interesting part here is they're going to be missing their leading receiver.
Yes.
And one of the best receivers, not named Higgins and Knoll in the Big 12, which will have a significant impact on this game.
His name is Jordan Tyson, 75 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns on the season.
It's basically like losing your Higgins. Like, that's not easy.
And actually, I would even say it's more significant because they don't have a Knoll.
There you go.
They're so as far as the receptions go on Arizona State, Tyson has 75. The next highest on the team is Cam Scatterby, the running back, with 35.
Wow.
Then you have to go down to a tight end with 28. The next receiver on Arizona State's roster, 17 catches. So you go from 75 to 17. That's a massive drop-off.
Yeah, I mean, injuries happen. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for them. And it clearly will change Iowa State's philosophy because you had to send – you basically had to bracket Tyson, and now I don't know. I mean, they clearly have some other guys, but just haven't proven it yet.
Dillingham, in response to that, when asked about what are they going to do, he said we have to be more balanced. And, really interesting when you look at the matchup is the other thing, too, that I've noted. Both of these teams, Brent, really possess the football a lot.
Yeah, and that's where this is going to be a –
short possession game, I think.
It is, and I think that over-under, which I was thought to be 54, it's dropping, and I think you're starting.
I would do that. I would. Yeah. The sharp play is under.
Yeah, I think that's where people are going. The other thing I want to mention here is, Arizona State did play Cincinnati already this year, and Cincinnati really kept them in check. And that, of course, with Tyson Veit, he mentioned in that clip, that defense gave them trouble.
That was
with
their
Cincinnati.
shocking loss.
It was, and it was. I mean, it was on the road, if I remember right. But they only scored. Yeah, it was on the road at Cincinnati, but only scored 14 points and really struggled. So again, if you're looking for reasons to be an optimistic as an Iowa State fan, Arizona State has gotten a lot better since then, and it's on a roll right now. But there's some things here where I'm sure they're going, man. If Iowa State gives us the same fits that Cincinnati did, this could be a lower scoring game.
Listen to Kicking It with Grant Mahoney and Jeff Woody for more on this game. Listen to it this morning. Really good podcast by those guys this week. We're going to get to basketball. We are presented by our friends at Gravitate Co-working. Check them out at gravitatecoworking.com. Think about that for 2025 if you're needing to switch up your office situation. Also, it's always a good time to go and get yourself a will, a living will, with our friend Hope Wood, hopewoodjd.com.
I saw Hope in Maui.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no, and she's written hundreds of these for Iowa State fans. Everybody's got to do it. HopewoodJD.com. You may as well go with our friend Hope. Presented by Kelderman Manufacturing. Check them out at kelderman.com. KELDERMAN.com. Great supporter of the show. And, of course, our friends at Game Day Men's Health. I went in and got my old tee shot today and bumped into two Cyclones. Two, not one, but two who were in there. I know Blum's been getting the tee as well, feeling good. I feel younger than I have in 10 years. Are you starting to feel the tee yet?
Yeah. I need to get one before I go to Dallas.
You got to stay.
You got to stay teed.
You got to stay connected, man. You got to stay connected with it. You can't stop it. You got to keep going with it. Keep it in the blood.
For those, again, I'm a couple weeks in here. It's a noticeable difference in a positive way. Cheat code.
Last thing I would ask is if you're doing holiday shopping, you go to CycloneFanaticShop.com. We have extended our Black Friday sale through December 6th. Okay, we have some really sweet gear up there right now. When you shop with us, you are not only supporting Cyclone Fanatic, you're supporting We Will, because we have a lot of their stuff up there with student athletes, and also our friends in Perry. One charity, and then 2 small businesses. You can go to fanatics.com, sure, but we have, in many cases, higher quality stuff at a better price, and you're working with local people. It really does make a difference for our company, specifically at Cyclone Fanatic, cyclonefanaticsshop.com. And as I've told you guys, I know Blum can attest to this. These student athletes, it's a big deal when they get a shirt. They really enjoy having these things and seeing you all out there wearing them. We currently have the team shirts for the men's and women's basketball teams that are selling really well, and we have all the new Script Cyclone stuff. My favorite are the Walking Psy basketball and wrestling quarter zips that we have. I designed those. I think they're pretty cool. That's from the Williams collection. I've designed 2 things, and the hats did great. These are doing okay. But that feels like something you would wear, Blum. You're a big quarter zip guy, just like me.
Oh man, in fact I may have suggested to my wife, hey, how about this for Christmas?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
sweet stuff. All right, Iowa State Marquette, the 5 versus 6, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. 5 versus 6. We knew this would be a big game when the schedule came out. I guess I didn't necessarily know Marquette would be in the top 10. I knew they'd be really good. But the story going into this game, most of you are probably not very well-versed on Marquette yet. That's fine. That's what we are here for. We have an elite matchup at the 2 guard, Cam Jones versus Keyshawn Gilbert. Let me tell you about Cam Jones, Blum. 6'5" senior, 19.6 points, 6.3 assists per game. More importantly, Cam Jones is an elite three-point shooter, 45.5% on the year. And if I know my guy Keyshawn, like I think I do, that son of a gun is feeling disrespected and challenged going into this matchup on Wednesday night. I cannot wait to watch this drama between these 2 dudes.
You know, I believe, I got to check the notes exactly. I think this is the first ever top 10 matchup, non-conference matchup in Hilton Coliseum history.
Really?
How about that?
Wow. Good pull.
Like,
I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have guessed.
Because Iowa State just hasn't been ranked in the top 10 too often in the non-conference. And then, the times they have been, Iowa hasn't, Iowa's been close that one year with Gazelle and Woodbury, but otherwise not much. So, yeah, huge opportunity here for Iowa State. This is a Keyshawn game where co-player of the week, by the way. Congrats, Keyshawn.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be ready to go. And, these programs, TJ and Shock get along, but there still is, a little bit of a rivalry here because they're recruiting a lot of the same people. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Iowa State is heavy into Wisconsin and Milwaukee in particular. TJ's from there. JR's from there. So this is a meaningful game, and these guys are good. They want to get up and down a little bit. We all know the talent that Marquette has. Iowa State being the home team is going to help, and I think one of the things Iowa State really took pride in last year, it went undefeated at home. This is certainly a game where Iowa State's going to get all they want. Iowa State's probably, like a 5-point favorite, 4-point favorite, but all eyes are going to be on this game, and Marquette can really score it, undefeated on the year. And they played some good teams, too. I mean, they beat Purdue by 20, right? So this is a team that they're no joke here. Yeah, this is not a Hilton's going to take over. Iowa State has to play as good as it has all year. This has to be first half Auburn, not second half Auburn, because Marquette's going to be ready to go, and they want a statement win.
And this is such a big deal for them to be able to go on the road.
It's
really a no-lose situation for Marquette because of the reputation that Hilton Coliseum has. It wouldn't be a bad loss if Iowa State were to lose it because Marquette's probably a top 2 or 3 seed in the NCAA tournament this year. But this is a great opportunity that you don't want to blow this one at home.
Yeah, and then I'm going to dig in deeper here. You start talking about seeding and potential host sites in the Midwest, and this is a game that will dictate that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did Iowa State get to play in Omaha? Well, it finished higher than Kansas and some of those things. So you start looking bigger picture here as to what this can impact. And if the NCAA Tournament Committee has a head-to-head of, hey, who do we rank higher on the seed line, Iowa State or Marquette for that last or that first, Midwest spot, this game will dictate that. In fact, I'm going to Google, or maybe Aiden, if you're on there, if you could find the sites for the 2025 NCAA Tournament, I'd be really curious. This game could be a head-to-head type thing where somebody could get an edge here when it comes to a seed line or maybe even a location.
Marquette, if we look at them, their analytical profile, the one thing that surprised me, Brent, the only thing really that surprised me, because I knew how good of a team they are, is how good they've been on defense. I don't necessarily associate that with Shaka Smart, but this is an elite defensive team, top 6 in the country.
Yeah, and they turn you over, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is
top 15 in turnovers,
yeah.
right?
This is turnover on turnover. All right, here are the sites. Can you zoom in there for me, my man Aiden? So what do we got in the Midwest this year? Man, this is the first time I've been looking at this. So we got Wichita, we got Milwaukee. Marquette can't be there. Marquette can't be there. They're the host. That's great.
We're going back to Milwaukee,
actually.
baby.
Well,
Third time.
Actually, probably would be Milwaukee, and then Denver. So those would be the 3. Well, that makes me feel better. In fact, it's in Milwaukee. Marquette cannot play there. But yeah, so this is a game where you're talking about a seed line. I if I'm a Cyclone fan, and you can maybe start looking at hotels or tickets in Wichita and Milwaukee, by the way, maybe even Denver. But this is one of those games where it's not going to hurt you, but man, it would look good come March if you win it. And then obviously, you look at Iowa State's schedule, and there's a couple other non-conference slappies in there, but it's a grinder from here on out until you enter conference play. Conference play starts before the end of the year, by the way. That's a little bit new this year.
Yeah, and you want to take advantage of these games at home. Iowa State's had a lot of these, and this is a good. Like you look at last year's deal, it was a lose-lose. You're at DePaul. This,
yeah, you got nothing.
You get nothing out of that. If you win it, it doesn't even really help you. But this is a gift. This is big time program stuff. When you get a team like this to come to your home floor, we just don't get these very often. We had the Michigan game the one year that comes to mind. Fred played BYU in a home and home
game, yeah.
But that wasn't like at the profile of this. Like I'm just trying to think. This is super rare. I remember Wayne Morgan played like Virginia.
Yeah, Tennessee came to town in an SEC Big Ten Challenge, but then
Auburn once, but they weren't very good. That was pre-Bruce Pearl.
It's interesting. Iowa State has never really received a dynamic matchup in these challenge games. I think this is the best one it's ever had, and I still don't understand why it's on the channel it is, but it's here nor there.
Have you seen the other Big 12 games?
Yeah, I mean it's a loaded slate tomorrow. This is gonna be like for a lot of Cyclone fans who are still in football mode, me included. This is a nice little respite until you get down to Dallas, because it's a big time couple of days of games here.
Other quick note: Neil Berry, remember that name?
Oh yeah,
longtime Steve Prohm assistant. He's been at Iowa State. He was at Iowa State for a while. He is one of Shaka Smart's top guys on the bench for Marquette. So a little bit of a reunion there.
In my world, Iowa State and Marquette, I believe, were one of the few programs who kept all of its top players in the portal this year. I don't think Marquette lost a single person.
They're not very active in the portal, are they?
No, but they've done it old school ways, and they're supported well, but they're using their support to keep their guys, and that's why I keep coming back to it. I think continuity, especially earlier in the season, it's not a surprise that Iowa State and Marquette are doing very well earlier this year, because they're basically the same team from a year ago that got a 2 seed. They lost the point guard Kolick, who was a great player, but everybody else from Marquette pretty much is back.
They did have one guy, name escapes me, who is a bench guy who's going to be out. Lowry, one of their reserve guards. Other than that, I don't know. It's hard to even break this down because these teams appear to be pretty similar.
They are.
Blum, statistically.
Yep.
They've both been tested. They've both played good competition. It's kind of like a game on game here thing with me. I can't really look at this deal like when Iowa State played Auburn. It was clear the bigs have got to do this well. When you played Dayton, it was clear those long Dayton guards, you got to really get up in them. I don't have like a key to winning this other than just play good basketball. That's terrible analysis. Do you have anything that stands out to you about this game?
Other than you won't play a more dynamic 2-guard than Cam Jones this year.
Yeah, he might be the best player you play all year, potentially.
And I guess what I'm really interested in is who gets the assignment. I would assume Keyshawn.
It's got to be Keyshawn.
Keyshawn's Iowa State's best offensive player too, though, and so that you run that risk. I think
if I know Iowa State's head coach, he's going to challenge Keyshawn game on game.
Yes, and the other thing that I would say, which is unique for Iowa State this year, is Jefferson and Jackson are just bigger than anybody Marquette has on the front line. Like this is one of those games where it helps to have, as somebody keeps calling them, the presidents for Iowa State in Jefferson and Jackson, because Marquette's big. Okay, they're big. They got size, they got height, but they're not super beefy. And this could be a Deshaun Jackson game where Iowa State just hasn't been able to throw it into a post and command a double team and kick it back out. This is one of those deals where if Iowa State holds on to the ball, doesn't turn it over, I could see a big day for the inside interior players for Iowa State tomorrow night.
Thank a few more of our sponsors, and then we'll go to our Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment.
Real quick, C-Dub, I am for the president's nickname for Jefferson and
That's
Jackson.
great.
I think it's
we
great.
need to do an NIL shirt for that.
Yep. I think we do. Martz, if you're listening.
Martz, if you're listening, let's get to work on that. Want to thank our friends at the Iowa State University Foundation. It is Giving Tuesday. Go to MoveWhatMatters.com. I would love to give them a little boost here on Giving Tuesday. MoveWhatMatters.com. Also, my friends at the Iowa Clinic and the Iowa Clinic Men's Center. Go in and get those annual physicals, get those flu shots. Got to get those flu shots, guys. Getting late on that. Go in and knock that out for me. And don't forget my friends at Mr. B Clothing in the back room when it comes to your holiday shopping. Support local. Support my guy Tim Sitzman. Mr. B Clothing in the back room. Let's do our Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment. Plant your independence. Plant Wiffles. Look at this lineup of games on Wednesday. Baylor at UConn. Listen. Well, you wonder why is this on ESPN Plus? You've got, although that game's on FS1.
Yeah, because we're getting into because Big East is FS1 stuff. So
you got Marquette at Iowa State. We've got Oklahoma State, Tulsa.
Yeah.
Kansas at Creighton.
Man.
And then you've got DePaul at. You've got DePaul. Where the hell is DePaul? Sorry, I lost my place there.
DePaul's been good this year, by the way.
At Texas Tech, yeah. So that's what we got going on. Starting tonight, we do have a couple of games tonight as well in this Big East, Big 12 thing. Cincinnati is at Villanova, and you've also got BYU at Providence. Bump this thing over to Thursday. Xavier is at TCU. Friday, Georgetown at West Virginia. Come on, let's make this thing a little bit longer, can we? We've got Kansas State at St. John Saturday, Butler at Houston, and I believe that is it for this challenge. Actually, there's more. Sorry. Oklahoma State, Seton Hall, and I think that's it. So there you go. That's the entire Big East, Big 12 challenge. But that night on Wednesday is going to be a hell of a night of college basketball.
Yeah, and I think even tonight, really anxious. I haven't seen BYU much. I think they're a sleeper for sure. I mean, I've
because they just spent a ton of money, right?
And I think their coach is really good. I would keep an eye on BYU. But then, these are games where it helps your conference if you do well. It doesn't kill you. But I'm just curious the strength. I've heard a lot of great things about Cincinnati. I am watching that game closely tonight. They go to Villanova. Villanova's been down since Wright left. And I think that's a game Cincinnati might grab, which would look really good for them. Mm-hmm. They're one of those teams that nobody's talking about in the Big 12. I think they could finish top 4. I really do. I really like what I've seen from them the couple of games I've watched. I'm keeping an eye on that one tonight.
Okay. That's all I got for you. I told you we were going to do an abbreviated show. It's been a really busy week. We're cooking up a special show for you guys on Thursday. We will go completely in depth. We're doing it later because we wanted to be able to have full sound from Matt Campbell. We will have complete analysis, predictions for the Big 12 championship game. And more importantly, we wanted to be able to do it so you guys could have it to listen to when you're on your trip down to Dallas. As I'm imagining there, how many Iowa State fans do you think will be down there? 30,000 Iowa State fans at that place?
That'd be a lot.
I mean, there's a ton of Iowa State fans in Texas.
I know. I mean,
the people from all over the country are going to be at that game. Is my point.
Well, there were 10,000 there in 2020 when there was restrictions. Yeah. So, man, 30. It wouldn't shock me. It's drivable. It's 10 hours. Like, it's not terrible.
I bet it's gonna 30 would be a lot. I agree, but what does that place hold?
65, 70. Yeah. I just wish tickets were a little bit more reasonable, but I get
What
it.
are they? I haven't even looked.
$200, even in the uppers.
Wow. I haven't
Hey,
even looked. That's disappointing.
Jerry has to pay Dak somehow. I know that's not really going to Dak.
Is that like face value?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, because I was thinking about bringing my kids. I don't know if that's going to happen now. Probably not.
Poor Everett.
I know he's. I'm trying to make it down there myself, buddy. I got to convince the 6-year-old that, hey, Dad's got to leave for a couple more days.
Well, he'll understand.
He'll
someday.
understand someday.
Yeah, my 5-year-old doesn't get all this either, and not only that, she was super pissed at you because Theo wasn't at daycare last week. I'm not kidding. We were getting out the truck today to take her into daycare, and only thing she had, is Theo going to be here? Is he back? Is Theo back? For those people who don't know, our kids go to daycare together, and our youngest are inseparable. So, anyways.
Love it.
Well, yeah. Well, 4:00. That's the plan. Hell, if you get there at 3:30, there's going to be people there. This is not formal, but this is an attempt by us to get people together. I will be around there, shaking hands, taking pictures, meeting all of you guys. I'm looking forward to it. We all deserve this after the last time with the COVID thing and not getting able to go to the Fiesta Bowl, all that good stuff. Soak it all up.
Soak it in, and then if you have an extra $20 in your pocket to send the collective's way, we have all funds up to $250,000 this week being matched by a donor. So there's never a better time. Portal opens next week.
He is Brent Blum. My name is Chris Williams. Aiden Wyatt producing today's show. As always, Williams and Blum Wednesday. We are presented by our friends at Mechdyne, the Mechdyne Corporation here in the Wild Rose Casino Studios. We will be back on Thursday for a special Williams and Blum Big 12 Championship preview pod.